What's crack-a-lackin', you cool cobras? I'm back at you with another unboxing video. I seem to have received a small package in the mail. I went for a bike ride to cool off after this morning, and that seemed to help quite a bit. That bike is quite fun to ride. I don't know what it is, man, but these last couple of days have just, like this morning was ridiculous. I had a string snap on me, and then when I go to replace the said string, the other one snaps on me when I'm trimming it up, and I'm like, well, ain't that a bitch? That's all right. That's part of life sometimes. Unfortunately. Didn't sound like I was trying to work on my temper, I can tell you that right now. Unfortunately. I'm never proud of those moments, but I mean, shit happens, otherwise I wouldn't be born, right? Kind of the way I look at it. Yes, that I did. I'm not sure what's in the package, but we're about to find out. And I also got my trash can right here, because this little bastard. I drilled through it once more, but this time it poked out the bottom here on the side, and I can't have that. So I shall attempt this here in a bit. And this will be a cool looking crystal scepter when it's done, I'm just saying. It's not being the most easiest to deal with in regards to getting it started. But when it goes to get sold on Etsy, it will sell out. I'll make it a bit more expensive than the other ones, but people see it's made from my actual stick. I'm sure they'll pay top dollar for it. What is up, you crazy fuckers? It's your boy King Cobra, sexy bad boy goth stud, coming back at you with another video. I'm doing an unboxing video because I got a package, and I got the scepter that I'm working on hooked up to the vice clamp, because yet I seem to have over drilled and it poked out the side of the stick, and we can't have that. So I'll retrim that here in a second. And then, of course, my lighter died while I was riding my bike, and I left my spare at home. Go figure, right? But anyways, yeah, we got a box over here. No idea what the fuck it is. Kind of heavy. I'll unbox it here in a second. I'll load up some pipe tobacco. Where the hell did I set that? Oh, there it is. Well, hopefully the sound's working for everyone. If it's not, I do apologize. Some of these technical difficulties are out of my control. Like earlier when I went to go record a video for Facebook Live, it completely failed to reconnect after disconnecting, and I hadn't even realized it. What I got some wood in the vice clamp. Working on a wand for the batch. I can only get that one to a certain point before it needs the last 2 to 3 things. So, indeed, because the other ones are going to come together real quickly. But this, if I get this first one up to a certain point, I get that scepter done to a certain point, and by the time my tax returns come in and shit, I can get a couple things for it, like a quartz crystal and some copper wire, really make it look nice. So people actually get top dollar quality for their crystal scepters and staffs. As far as staffs go, I can make a staff out of a hiking cane from Sportsman's Warehouse. It's not that difficult. That'd be a lot easier than trying to find a stick to make a staff out of. I mean, it's already pre-cut and everything, so, you know, you could throw some copper wire on there, or I could anyway, and yeah. Well, I don't care if it shakes on me a little bit, but I'm going to have to take a couple things off the wand bench before I start sawing. That way I'm not spilling the contents of it everywhere like a dumbass, just trying to get a nice smooth surface to re-drill the hole for that crystal. You know what I'm saying? Like most of you have seen my buddy Jeremy's roster cane. That thing's sick. Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. I was just in a really bad funk the last couple of mornings. This morning wasn't as bad as yesterday, and you know, little things like your string snapping is a part of playing guitar, but it's never fun when you're having the bad case of the bad mornings, you know. Well, it's going all right. Richie Relt, I'm about to unbox a package and work on a wand for the batch. I thought about trying to add a crystal scepter to my next batch of wands, and we'll see how that pans out. But I do know that people were awful pleased when they got their wands. They were just beyond excited. They're like, finally, you know. And I'm not going to show you what the rest of the wands look like and when I make them, but I might document on Facebook Live the progress of that crystal scepter, because that shit's going to look sick as fuck when it's done. I'm only going to cover a portion of it in black and green paint. The rest of it's going to be a natural wood color. I'm pretty much getting it to a point where all I got to do is add some copper wire and a quartz crystal to it. And it's a big ass fucking stick. You see how big that shit is. Any funny Jesus jokes for Easter? Well, yes, I do. So I heard Jesus Christ had the best hands for masturbation, his holiness. Is that what they meant by his second coming? Oh, the Virgin Mary. She wasn't a virgin when I got done with her. So yeah, I know a couple of shit like that. Let's see. Is that joke a thorn in your side? 4. Oh, almost had it. Someone gave me this lighter as a spare, and I don't particularly care for having the safeties on there, so I pluck them off with a knife or something. So I went for a brief bike ride to kind of cool off from the bullshit of earlier. I mean, that was ridiculous. I was in a rather weird mood, but indeed, I think if I'm not mistaken, a fan sent this one to me. It's got a cobra with a pentagram right here, and then a pot leaf behind the cobra, and this has got the king cobra right there. So right there. Actually, I had a fan make this for me and send it to me, so you know, that's most definitely what's up. But the question on everyone's mind is, what the hell is in the box? Bunch of the bubble stuff. And whenever you're working on wands, put the trash can underneath the vice clamp, and it minimizes the amount of sawdust you leave behind. A gift for you. Hey, hi Cobes, looking forward to some sick Aussie and Cobra tats. Your biggest fan. Oh, wow, isn't that sweet? That's the thing about claiming to be my biggest fans. Not talking shit, I'm just being real with it. A lot of people claim to be my biggest fan. That's, you know. Huh. Oh, that's cute. Someone sent me a tattoo kit. Right on. That's cool. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with this, because that would definitely explain the letter. Huh. Comes with instructions, that sort of thing. Yeah, I have no idea how to use this, and I'm not going to tattoo myself. That just seems like a bad idea. I might just end up giving it to the tattoo parlor I go to when I get my knuckles touched up. Because, yeah, no, I don't trust myself with this. But it's a nice gesture, either way you shape it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least I know it wasn't a troll gift. I'm sure there's a shit ton of how-to videos on YouTube and how to set that up, but I really do not trust myself with that. I have no experience tattooing, and I mean, something that was, well, shitty, you know. I mean, the outline for this tattoo is already here, so the Aussie tattoo wouldn't be too difficult, but that's a sensitive place to tattoo yourself, and I could fuck up my hand doing it, so I'd rather have a professional do it, to be honest. Like, I'm not talking shit on the fan who sent it. That was actually a nice gesture, but still trying to rush through it. I could put this. This is a fucking thick ass stick too, so of course it's gonna take a minute to saw through. Fucking break down this box here. Sometimes you get frustrated with the circumstances you're dealt, and you can't do shit about it, so you just have to roll with the tide, I guess. About halfway there. I mean, that wood smells really good when you're cutting into it. I mean, I still got plenty of room to work with, so, but I don't want to fuck up on the hole this time if I can help it, because that scepter is getting shorter and shorter. Almost there. Oh shit. Tighten the vise up. Start off with the base hole before I make the bigger hole. That'd probably be a smarter way of doing it. God damn it. There we go. The hole's deep enough that I can stick half my pointer finger in it. It's not poking out either side of the stick. There's no holes all around. That's a perfectly nicely drilled hole for a quartz. That'll do very nicely. The hole's deep enough that when I go to glue that crystal in there, it'll sit in place. And this is going to be the most expensive wand in the batch, but there's a reason why. Because these take a lot longer to finish than the the other ones do. And then a bunch of shit can go wrong when you're making it. The wall around the hole collapses, or you drill a hole through the side of the stick when you're trying to bore it out. But yeah, that's deep enough to, I can stick a quartz crystal in there very nicely. Although I'm going to make it a little bit deeper just to be on the safe side. Oh, now we in business. Now we in business. The hole for that crystal was drilled out most excellently. I'll fit a nice wide crystal in there too. Not too thin on the walls. I don't want to drill any more because that's deep enough. I can fit my entire pointer finger up to my knuckle. Before it was like here. Now it's down to here. So if I go any deeper, it might snap the wall, and we don't want that. Now what we do next is get this dry bark off of here for the most part. I might leave like a little bit of bark like from here to here. From like here to here. I'm gonna leave the bark on. I'm gonna cover the bark off of this side and like this side for the handle of it. And this bark's pretty dry, so it should just come right off. Got the bark off for the handle. Always some of the bark on for a textured effect. And this bark is so dry, it's just coming right off. Now, the parts that I took the bark off, I'm going to sand it really smooth. But I'm leaving this much bark on because I'm going to spray paint a section of this green from like here to about here. It's going to be green, and the handle's going to be black. I'll leave a small section of bark unpainted, and then you'll see some copper wire right from like here to here that'll wrap the crystal. I might take some sandpaper and kind of, or just the knife. Get like a knife and I carve all the knots out of it. So after I paint it, the sections that get painted plus all the entire stat or sector itself are going to get Mod Podged after I paint it. I'm going to glue the handle to the thing here. Let's figure out what step I want to do next after I paint it. So right now, to get the scepter more finished, the handle is going to be sanded, and then of course, this stuff right here. Probably it's easier to sand it a little bit, but there we go. The knots don't have to be completely off. A little bit of bump is fine. It'll add some texture to it, but like not so they're like protruding and stabbing people in the hands. There we go. Got a rough shape of it. That looks good. There's a little bit right there. Right. Now I need some bloody sandpaper. There we go, the rough shape. And anyone can take a chopstick, wrap some paper and some hot glue and make some intricate design, let it dry and paint it and call it a wand. But with CobraCraft wands, you're actually getting a wand crafted from a stick found in Mother Nature. Still light sanding with the rough stuff first. handle's going to be a bit more intricate with the sanding, but of the bend. The handle is just about done with the rough sandpaper. Is like a little bump right there. And what I could do is just do the handle black, leave this bark blank, and then do this half right here green. Because the copper wire with that green would look really, really nice. And then step 2 in this sanding, get a lighter grit to finish it off. Because the other wands aren't going to require drilling and gluing a crystal in. They're just, therefore they're going to be a lot quicker to finish. But these crystal wands, they take a bit longer. Get this one done to a point where, or I can sit it down and work on the other ones later on to a point where I need to be. down for the handle. Of course, the bark may end up coming off. I don't think it wants to stay on. Okay, a little bit of it will stay on. If you make the handle this long. The sanding's done. That's too dark. That's too light. Get the handle first. We'll spray the handle first. Well, nothing I can do now on Facebook until that dries. Fuck the light green. No, the 100 green. I mean, I can get the top half of it while the bottom half is drying. Like a pinch of light green at the bottom of that dark green. Of course, I may end up doing the whole stick black and green. Fuck it. Extend that handle just a bit. You know what? That'll look cool when I wrap some copper wire around it. From like here to here. If I get that scepter to a certain point where I can, you know, set it down, and the next step will be adding a handle to it. And as soon as that paint's done drying, I'm gonna super glue a handle to it with some of that leather string, and then Mod Podge it and make it all shiny, so that all it needs is a quartz crystal and some copper wire. I'm making a crystal scepter for my next batch of wands. Well, how are they going to complain about the smell of spray paint when the window's wide open? Like, if I got blankets blocking off the goddamn doors and that lead to the hallway, and then I got the window cracked wide open, they're not going to smell the spray paint in the hallway. That will look very nice when I add the handle to it. And literally as soon as I add the Mod Podge to the handle, and then it can make it real shiny when it's done drying. It's typically the handle on after it's done drying, and then when the handle is done drying, then I'm going to add some Mod Podge to it. Then I can set it aside until I get the final stuff to finish it. Because the rest of the wands will, you know what I'm saying, the rest of the wands will come together real nicely. But that crystal wands tend to take a little bit longer to make, unfortunately. And pretty cool looking when it's all said and done. That's a pretty sharp looking wand there. Especially if the handle's going from here to about here. Or maybe like from here to here. Leave like a little bit of black to trail into some green. Yeah. Someone in chat's like, what's the point of making a wand? I'm not going to explain it to you. Either you get it or you don't get it. I'm autistic as fuck, and this right here, making this is therapeutic. This is keeping me out of trouble. This is giving me something to sell on Etsy. That's kind of what Facebook Live is to a degree. Sometimes you might see me working on wands while I'm Facebook Living. Sometimes you won't. But watching paint dry doesn't get much funner than this. All jokes aside, though, Facebook, this will be a gorgeous little scepter when it's all said and done. And it'll be going on Etsy for $44. I charge $54 for a staff. But when it's all said and done, you're going to be sitting at that for $44. Get the fuck out of here. Which is a fair price for something that's being handcrafted. And the Wonder Magic shop has a beautiful selection of quartz. So, finding a quartz crystal for it. And not only is the wand's going to get better, but the photos for taking them, you know. I could probably use that coffee table I have over there to take pictures of them, take the keyboard and the coffee table cover off. You know, even though I covered over the bark, it's going to add some texture to that finish. Yeah, that's going to look sleek as fuck when I... So I want to get that wand done up to the point all I got to do is add like 2 or 3 things to it. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to be a quartz crystal that fits it, some copper wire, and a little bit of clear drying Gorilla Glue. You get a crystal that fits the hole snug as a bug. Pull it back out. Take that clear drying Gorilla Glue, put a couple squirts in the hole. I know it's not dirty, but then you stick your quartz crystal back in there, snug as a bug, let it dry. And then when it's done drying, you can take your copper wire. When that Gorilla Glue is done drying and that crystal's in there solid as a rock, you can literally take that copper wire and just delicately wrap it around the base of the crystal where it meets the stick, and then kind of make a pattern with it on the top half of it. And it actually looks like a wand you'd buy at a fucking magic shop, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get an idea of where I want the handle to start and where I want it to start, like maybe right up here and then kind of go all the way down here. I mean, if I want to get real fancy with it, I can engrave Cobra Craft wands into the side of it, but I don't want to fuck up that nice paint job. That looks sweet. And when I get crystals for my wands, I get real quartz. It's a bit more expensive than a cheap glass one, but it produces a better product. When you get a nice polished quartz crystal for the end of it, it just... Although I might try to get like a foggy quartz for it, because that'll look cool. I don't know. I can always take the bus down there to the Wonder shop, because I got a bus token in my piggy bank. And when I get some monies, I can take that down with me to the Wonder Magic shop when I go shopping for a crystal for it. And I'll probably make like a deal. I'll probably use some of that string, because I know when I'm done wrapping the copper wire towards the end of it, I could create like a sharp edge. So getting like some more of that leather string and visualizing it coming together. This is what's going to set Cobra Craft wands apart from a lot of those Etsy wand stores. A lot of these people will take chopsticks and construction paper and they'll roll it up into paper and use hot glue and let it dry. And it looks like a wand, but I mean, if you got to make them quick as possible, yes, it works, I guess. But for magical purposes, not really, no. Taking a wand and making it from a stick that you find lying around in Mother Nature, that's, has a better chance of producing results. I'd be interested to find out if any of the people who purchased my wands recently have had any success with their magical increase. Have they gotten better at crafting their spells? Now, $44 for something like this scepter, that's a pretty good deal. And I could charge $100 for it, just so I could use that money to get more supplies for making more crystal wands and what have you. But I got to stick to my price range. $24 for a handheld wand, $34 for a crystal scepter, and $44 for a staff. That's not even staff materials. That's not long enough to be a staff. So that scepter is going to be $34 now that I think of it. And $34 for a handmade crystal wand like that, that's a pretty good deal. I've seen wands that I'm trying to make, like this one right here, go on the internet for like $100. I'm just saying. As soon as the paint's done drying, I'm gonna add a handle to it. Unfortunately, I don't think Ace Hardware sells the copper wire I'm looking for, which is a mild inconvenience. That's Home Depot, who has the wire I'm looking for to wrap this wand, but that's all right. It just means a lot of running all over town to collect supplies to finishing the product, but that's, that's not a problem. Because in the time it'll take, I'll get the quartz crystal on it, glued in there and everything. I have it drying on the bloody vice clamp. I mean, I could literally take my duffel bag with me on my journey all over town to get the supplies I need. Damn, that fucker's loud. Y'all hear that on Facebook Live right now. A fucking bell tower down the street's going off again. Yeah, that is a good question. How do you know if you are best suited for a wand, a scepter, or a staff? It really depends on what you're looking to do. I mean, for a travel-sized wand, the handles are pretty easy to conceal in your pocket. But if you're looking to be a bit more flashy with your wand work and what have you, and a crystal scepter or crystal staff is a nice addition. But I guarantee that by the time this thing is done, that crystal's going to be in there solid as a fucking rock. And in the process of waiting for that to dry, this is maybe the first one I focus on, getting it to that point where all I gotta do is add glue, crystal, some copper wire, and a little bit of string towards the bottom half of it, so the point's not poking you when you're checking it out, making something that'll look cool. Making something that'll look like looks like you fucking bought it at a like a goddamn Renaissance fair or some shit. But I'll give it a couple hours before I add the handle to it. The handle's almost done drying, so I might be able to wrap the handle while it's still drying on the vice clamp, which would just be convenient. Instead of fucking moving it, not the vice clamp while it's still drying. This is the stuff I used to make my handles on my wands in the last batch. So this time around, I was careful on opening those buttons so that I get disgusting rest of them on. It's kind of a, yeah. There we go. Set that spool down right there. Let's see right about. There's a good spot to start the handle. He's like the Bob Ross of making wands. Ha, just kidding. I'll put a nice little knot in that leather right there, just right there. No, but there we go. It's on there. I think a lot of people are going to be anxious to see how this scepter turns out. I'm trying to get the taint of my fingers so I can help it. Get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck on there. Tuck that string right there. Just like that. Oh, get the fuck in there. Get the fuck in there. Okay, I found a place to tuck that string so we can put some glue down right there. White Gorilla Glue, no. Clear shit. Yeah, baby. That should be enough glue for the handle, I reckon. I tucked it in. Right there, right there. Now, they're all I can for this sector at the moment until it dries. I mean, when that glue dries completely, all I gotta do now is add some Mod Podge to it to make it shiny. Where the paint's at. And then all I need after that is like some copper wire and some crystal. And the quartz crystal is easy to come by. You go to your local magic shop to get it. Simple as that. $34 for a handheld, handcrafted crystal scepter. And because these take a lot longer to put together if you don't have the supplies on hand. It looks a lot better than it did before. It actually comes together nicely. I'm waiting for it to dry is the dry on that handle. There's a couple spots where the vice captures the pay off. It's easy enough fix. What up?
What's up, bro?
Hey, bro, I'll be there in a second.
Alright, man.
Just putting some touches on my scepter here that I'm working on. Rest of man's here, right on. Hang out with friends, bullshit the day away, don't stress life. That's what it's all about sometimes. Oh yeah. The paint job on this is fucking epic. A nice combination of black and green. And I put copper on that. That's gonna look sick as shit.